Welcome back, AP Macroeconomics students. Today we're going to talk about topic 3.2, multipliers. The multiplier effect is the initial change in spending that sets off a spending chain that will be magnified in the economy. For example, if Bobby spends $100 on Jason's product, Jason has more income. So he spends that money on Nancy's product, and so on and so forth. The result is a $300 increase in consumer spending, not just the initial $100. The multiplier effect shows how spending is magnified in the economy. Here's the impact of government spending. If government spends $5 million, will the aggregate demand increase by the same amount? No. Aggregate demand will increase even more as government spending becomes income for other consumers. Those consumers will then take that money and spend it, thus increasing the aggregate demand. Well, how much does it increase? It depends on how much of the new income consumers save. If they save a lot, spending and aggregate demand will increase less. If they save a little, spending and aggregate demand will increase a lot. This brings us to the marginal propensity to consume, or the MPC. The MPC is how much people consume rather than save when there's a change in disposable income. It's always expressed as a fraction. The equation is the change in consumption over the change in disposable income. Example, if you received $100 and spent $50, or if you received $100 and spent $80, or if you received $100 and spent $100. The MPS is the marginal propensity to save. How much people save rather than consume when there's a change in disposable income. It's always expressed as a fraction. It is the change in savings over the change in disposable income. Therefore, the MPS, or the marginal propensity to save, equals 1 minus the MPC, or the marginal propensity to consume. Why is this true? Because you can either save or consume. This brings us to what's called the spending multiplier. If the MPC is 0.5, how much is the multiplier? Well, the spending multiplier is 1 over the MPS, or the same thing, 1 over 1 minus MPC. If the multiplier is 4, how much will an initial increase of $5 in government spending increase in GDP? How about a decrease of $3? The total change in GDP equals the multiplier times the initial change in spending. Here we have an example of the spending multiplier. Assume the MPC is 0.5 for everyone, and the Super Bowl comes to town. There's an increase of $100 in sales at Ashley's restaurant. She now has $100 more income. She's going to save half of it and spend half of it. She now at Carl's Saloon. Carl now has $50. Again, he's going to save half of it and spend half of it. He'll bring it down to Dan's fruit stand. And now Dan has $25 more income. This continues until every penny is spent or saved. What's the multiplier? 2. What is the total exchange in GDP? 2 times the initial $100, which equals $200. Remember, the total change in GDP is the multiplier times the initial change in spending. We have some practice problems. You review these on your own. And what about tax cuts? The multiplier effect also applies when the government cuts or increases taxes. The changing taxes has less of an impact than government spending. Why? Well, if you assume that the MPC is 0.75 and the multiplier is 4, if the government cuts taxes by 4 million, how much will consumer spending increase? It's not 16 million. Why? Well, when they get the tax cut, consumers will save $1 million and spend 3 million. That 3 million is then magnified in the economy. So 3 times 4 is a 12 million increase in total spending. How do you calculate the tax multiplier? MPC is 0.75. What is the tax multiplier? MPC is 1 over MPS. The spending multiplier is 4, and the tax multiplier is only 3. But remember, an increase in taxes decreases GDP, so the tax multiplier is negative. have some practice problems and some multiple choice questions. A couple videos from Mr. Clifford. Thank you.